So, back in July, I came across a Kickstarter campaign. I hadn't heard of Kickstarter in so long, but I only heard about it because the maker of one of the first keyboards I got since getting into the hobby last December, Durgod, was doing a campaign for a wireless, retro-style keyboard that looked like an NES. There were two other colorways too, but I was only interested in that classic red, black, and gray color scheme at the time. When the campaign went live and I had decided to make a pledge, I was set on getting the Steam colorway with Cherry MX black switches. But then I decided to let my friends on Instagram decide what I should get, and I'm kinda glad I did. This was my first Kickstarter, and although I've heard horror stories of how these things can go, I felt like I would get a finished product by this brand. It definitely wasn't the smoothest experience, with some people today who still haven't received a product, even though Durgod started shipping in October. Others have received the wrong product or have since receiving them, they've broken down. I don't think Durgod expected this much interest or thought they could handle the volume, but clearly they ran into logistical and QC issues. The last message from them I saw through them in the Facebook group was them apologizing for delays and mistakes and that they will eventually address everyone's concerns. So that's good, definitely better than getting your money taken and getting ghosted. I got the exact colorway and switches I asked for, so I consider myself very lucky. Strange to say you got lucky for getting what you ordered, but in the world of Kickstarter, that apparently is like winning the lottery. So when I asked my Instagram friends and followers what I should go for, I decided to leave it up to the polls, sort of. I knew I didn't want a clicky switch and that I wanted a heavier spring overall, so that really only left the MX Black and the MX Silent Black switches. So it was between those two switches and then one of the three keyboard colorways. And we ended up with the original colorway in gray, orange, and cream. Beige? I don't know. With Cherry MX Silent Blacks. Alright, so enough backstory, let's get into unboxing. I must say, I was thoroughly impressed with the packaging. It came in a shipping bag, but the box was well protected with this bubble prison-like thing that went over the box perfectly. There was some small damage to the edges of the box, but it wasn't anything to get upset over. And this box for some reason reminded me of Nissin Cup noodles. The packaging was done right. I appreciate the effort they put into it. You could tell that they wanted to make the product unboxing a sort of an experience, not just something to tear open, a random brown box that you just toss away after taking everything out. I did find it a little strange they went with the PlayStation buttons, the XO triangle squares, when their flagship design is a representation of the NES. So inside the box we have the instructions. Don't throw this away because it will give you directions on how to connect the keyboard through USB, Bluetooth, or through the wireless dongle. Next up is the USB-C to USB-C cable, then a USB-A to USB-C cable, then interestingly a USB-A and USB-C adapter, a Velcro loop for the USB cables, a keycap puller, the proper one, thankfully, and then finally the keyboard itself. It looks nice. I know a lot of people ordered the NES looking Steam colorway, but I don't regret changing my mind and getting this one instead. So if you watched my last video, you would know that I got a desk mat for, quote, a keyboard that was en route. Well, this was the keyboard I was talking about. Let's take a look. Nice. The orange from the board doesn't quite match the shade of orange on the Mito Godspeed Aries desk mat, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And we're about to get into the type test. I will mention that there's a lot of echo in this board. I will probably mod this at some point in the future. I just wanted to say thank you for dropping by and watching. See you in the next one.